Remember that time you walked into a coffee shop, saw someone muttering to themselves about quantum physics while their latte got cold, and your first thought was, man, that person's having a breakdown. Yeah, I've been there. We all have. We're wired to label anything outside the norm as well weird. But what if I told you that moment wasn't a breakdown, but a breakthrough? What if that weirdness was actually pure, unadulterated genius in action? See, most people think intelligence looks like sitting quietly in libraries. But the real signs are way weirder than you'd expect. We're talking about habits so bizarre that society labels them as problems, when they're actually intellectual superpowers. Take Temple Grandin. She spent her childhood obsessively spinning coins and arranging objects by color. Teachers thought she was disturbed. Turns out, that weird behavior was her brilliant mind organizing complex visual, spatial information that would later revolutionize livestock management and save millions of animals from suffering. The truth is, high intelligence often disguises itself as dysfunction. Your brain is running advanced software that most people can't recognize, let alone appreciate. All right, let's dive into number 10, collecting random facts like a mental hoarder. And this one hits home for me. You know the capital of every country, the atomic weight of obscure elements, and exactly how many steps it takes to get from your kitchen to your bedroom. People call you a walking Wikipedia, like it's an insult. Seriously, that's like calling a superhero too strong. But here's what's actually happening. Your brain is building what neuroscientists call crystallized intelligence networks. Every random fact is a connection point waiting to spark innovation. Ray Kroc, the mastermind behind McDonald's global empire, was obsessed with knowing bizarre details about everything. From the exact temperature French fries should be cooked at in Bangladesh, to the average walking speed of customers in different cultures. People thought he was micromanaging. He was actually building a knowledge architecture that would create the world's most successful restaurant system. Research from Johns Hopkins shows that people with vast general knowledge consistently outperform specialists in creative problem solving, because they can connect dots that others can't even see. Your useless trivia collection? It's actually your brain preparing for breakthrough moments that haven't arrived yet. If you're anything like me, number 9 will make you nod vigorously. Number 9, getting physically uncomfortable around stupidity. You're in a meeting where someone confidently explains why the moon landing was faked, and you literally feel nauseous. Your muscles tense up, your head starts pounding, and you need to excuse yourself before you explode. This isn't arrogance, it's cognitive dissonance trauma. Your brain experiences actual pain when forced to process information that violates logical principles. And you feel utterly alone in that pain, right? Like you're screaming internally while everyone else just shrugs. Dr. Shane Frederick's research on cognitive reflection shows that highly intelligent people have involuntary physical responses to illogical statements. Their brains literally reject nonsense like an immune system rejecting a virus. I know a NASA physicist who gets migraines during conspiracy theory conversations. Not because she's judgmental, but because her brain is working overtime, trying to reconcile impossible claims with scientific reality. The study found that people with higher IQs show increased cortisol production when exposed to pseudoscience. Their bodies are literally stressed by stupidity. Number 8, talking to yourself like you're hosting your own podcast. You're walking down the street, having animated conversations with nobody, gesturing wildly, making facial expressions, occasionally laughing at your own mental jokes. Strangers think you've lost it. But research from the University of Wisconsin reveals something fascinating. Self-directed speech is linked to superior executive function. You're not crazy, you're running advanced mental simulations. Albert Einstein was famous for talking to himself while working through complex physics problems. He called it thinking out loud with my intellectual companion. That companion? His own brilliant mind engaging in internal collaboration. It turns out, smart brains are constantly trying to tweak their own programming to navigate the world better. And self-talk is actually a sophisticated behavioral regulation strategy. When you verbalize your thoughts, you're activating multiple brain regions simultaneously. Auditory processing, language centers, and executive control areas are all working together to solve problems more efficiently. Number 7. Becoming obsessed with completely random topics for weeks. Last month you were the world's leading expert on 14th century Byzantine coins. This week, you've memorized every species of deep-sea jellyfish. Next week, who knows, maybe the complete discography of obscure 1970s prog rock bands. How wild is that? People call this or lack of focus. Science calls it intellectual curiosity and hyperdrive. Dr. Scott Barry Kaufman's research on creative intelligence shows that highly intelligent people exhibit openness to experience patterns that look chaotic but actually indicate cognitive flexibility. Your brain craves novel information like an athlete craves training. Steve Wozniak, co-founder of Apple, spent months obsessing over different calculator designs before revolutionizing personal computing. That random fixation taught him precision engineering principles that later created the first user-friendly computer. Seeing patterns where others see chaos isn't about being odd. It's the brain's natural inclination toward synthesizing information in unexpected ways. Number 6. Getting irrationally angry at inefficient systems. You're standing in a grocery store line watching the cashier manually type prices instead of scanning barcodes. And you're mentally redesigning their entire inventory management system, while fighting the urge to jump over the counter and show them how it's done. Sound familiar? This isn't impatience, it's systems intelligence. Your brain automatically identifies optimization opportunities everywhere. Jeff Bezos got so frustrated with bookstore inefficiency that he founded Amazon in his garage. His anger at slow, limited inventory systems revolutionized global commerce and created a trillion-dollar empire. Research from MIT shows that systems thinkers, people who see inefficiencies everywhere, consistently score higher on fluid intelligence tests. Their brains are constantly running background processes to improve everything they encounter. You're not a control freak. You're an efficiency optimization machine trapped in a world full of poorly designed processes. Number 5. Remembering conversations word for word from years ago. Someone mentions a casual comment they made 3 years ago, and you quote them exactly, including their tone, facial expression, and what they were wearing. They look at you like you've installed surveillance cameras in their brain. But here's the science. Superior episodic memory is strongly linked to high intelligence. Your brain doesn't just store information. It creates detailed contextual archives. Marilu Henner, the actress from Taxi, has a condition called highly superior autobiographical memory. She can recall every single day of her life in perfect detail. Initially, doctors thought it was a disorder. Turns out it's an intelligence superpower that helps her excel at everything from acting to business. Dr. James McGaw's research shows that people with exceptional memory often have enhanced connections between their hippocampus and other brain regions, creating more sophisticated information storage and retrieval systems. Your creepy memory isn't stalker behavior. It's data architecture excellence. Number 4. Getting emotionally devastated by movies, books, or music. You finish watching a movie and you're sobbing for hours. Not just because it was sad, but because you've mentally analyzed every character arc, cinematography choice, and thematic element. People tell you to relax, it's just entertainment. But research from York University shows that emotional sensitivity to art strongly correlates with intelligence. Your brain processes multiple layers of meaning simultaneously: narrative, symbolism, technical craft, cultural context. Lin-Manuel Miranda spent years obsessing over a biography of Alexander Hamilton, crying over historical documents and financial reports. That emotional connection to seemingly dry material became the foundation for the revolutionary musical. That changed Broadway forever. People who daydream more often tend to score higher on measures of intelligence, including working memory and creative problem solving. And emotional engagement with media often triggers these same cognitive processes. Your overreactions to art aren't drama, they're multidimensional intelligence processing. Number 3. Noticing things that drive everyone else crazy. You point out that the restaurant logo is slightly off-center. The background music doesn't match the cuisine style. And the server's shoes are completely wrong for the floor type they're walking on. Everyone tells you to stop being so observant. This is pattern recognition, hypersensitivity. Your brain is constantly scanning for inconsistencies, inefficiencies, and improvement opportunities. Cher developed her fashion empire because she couldn't stop noticing small details in clothing construction that bothered her. What seemed like nitpicking was actually superior visual spatial intelligence, identifying design flaws that others missed. Research from Cambridge shows that people with high fluid intelligence have enhanced sensitivity to environmental stimuli. They literally see, hear, and feel details that others filter out unconsciously. Your annoying observations aren't perfectionism, they're environmental intelligence gathering. Number 2. Having internal debates so intense you forget where you are. You're supposed to be grocery shopping, but you've been standing in the cereal aisle for 20 minutes, having a heated internal argument about whether free will exists, completely forgetting why you came to the store in the first place. Sound familiar? Congratulations, you're experiencing philosophical processing overflow. Your brain is so active that it prioritizes abstract thinking over immediate practical tasks. Kant was famous for missing meals because he'd get lost in thought during his daily walks. His housekeeper had to create detailed schedules just to keep him fed. That absent-mindedness wasn't a flaw. It was his mind working through ideas that would revolutionize Western philosophy. Smart people are better at finding intuitive correct solutions than correcting or reasoning over incorrect intuitions to solve problems. And these intense internal debates are actually your brain stress-testing different logical frameworks. Number 1. Feeling like an alien observing human behavior. You watch people argue about trivial things and think, am I the only one who sees how absurd this is? You feel like an anthropologist studying a strange species, constantly amazed by seemingly irrational human behaviors. It's not that you're cold or uncaring. It's just that your mind is running on a different frequency, constantly looking for the underlying patterns, the why behind the what. And sometimes that can feel incredibly isolating. This isn't antisocial. It's metacognitive awareness. Your brain operates at a level that allows you to observe social dynamics objectively, like a scientist studying behavioral patterns. Richard Feynman, the Nobel Prize-winning physicist, described feeling like he was watching humans from the outside his entire life. That detachment wasn't coldness. It was intellectual objectivity that allowed him to see patterns others missed and make breakthrough discoveries. Research from Stanford shows that people with high metacognitive abilities, awareness of their own thinking processes, consistently score higher on intelligence measures and demonstrate superior problem-solving skills. So, if any of this resonated, if you've ever felt like an alien observing the human circus, or if your brain just won't shut off from trying to optimize the checkout line, take a deep breath. You're not a bug in the system, you're the upgrade. Your weirdness isn't a flaw, it's a feature. It's the unique operating system that allows you to see the world not just as it is, but as it could be. So embrace it. Because honestly, the world desperately needs more of you. Thanks for joining me on this journey of intellectual self-discovery. Drop a comment below and tell me, which of these high intelligence signs made you think, holy crap, that's me? Share your stories about these smart people habits so we can build a community of brilliant misfits who finally understand they're not alone. And remember, your intelligence isn't just about IQ scores or academic achievements. It's about seeing the world differently, asking better questions, and never settling for surface-level answers. Embrace your intellectual superpowers. The world needs more people who think like you.